Welcome to Expansive Minds Podcast, Gateway to Freedom, a podcast where two friends, Aileen and Nancy, explore and expand beyond what they think they know in order to live a life of freedom. Thank you for joining us, and away we go.
All right, so we are on video for the first time ever.
Yes.
So before we launch, shall we set the intention? Do you want to do it this morning?
You're so good at it. I love when you do it.
I'll do the intention and she'll close. Very simple. We set our intention to be channels of love and light and ask that through our interaction today, that love pours through to all. So it is. So we said we're going to do this thing on video. And I'm sharing. I have a fear of the camera. I'm a voiceover artist, so it's normally me in my studio. So this is interesting for me. So Aileen was texting me this morning to try to make me comfortable, and she sent me a picture of her pants. So, would you like to share?
Yes. Well, it's great that I had an excuse to wear these because they're not.
Those require no excuse.
I thought when I was walking across to come in here, walking across the street, people were going to say, "Hey, where's the
Where's the Star Trek
convention?"
And we are Trekkies, both of us. So
yeah. So yeah, I was somewhere and I saw these for $3. They're these Star Trek leggings, and I just said I have to have those, especially for $3. Why wouldn't I?
My God, a cup of coffee costs more than that.
Exactly. So I had. I think I've worn them once. And then, yes, this morning getting up, I was thinking, what am I going to wear? What am I going to wear? And I'm more an experiential person. So if I just wore a burlap bag every day, I'd be super happy. Although it is fun to have, maybe I haven't started to talk to this. It is fun to have clothes that, there's something about clothes for me. But it's not that I really care what other people have to say, because I don't. I wear them for me and what they mean for me and how I feel in the day. It's my own feng shui, my own energy feng shui. So yeah, so when I got up, I was like, what am I gonna wear? And I was like, I don't know. And I'm looking at this and looking at this. And then I was like, oh, well, this is easy, as long as all my dog's white dog hair is in it. But this is easy. And then I was like, well, I'll wear some leggings. And as soon as I saw these, I said, I have to wear these for Nancy. One, because
I got to get me some of them. Those are fantastic.
Exactly. We love Star Trek. And a lot of what we talk about, we get it. There's so much that Gene Roddenberry put out there so early that was brilliant.
Yes.
And also, I didn't want you to be too nervous about what you were going to wear.
Shoes. So I believe I do have gold shoes, but mine would be stilettos. So when you're 5 feet tall, heels sort of just become basic standard issue part of the wardrobe. And we were even talking about sitting here. I think I need a Johnny Carson stool, Gabby. I need a Johnny Carson.
Driving over, right? I was thinking, how is it? Are these all going to show?
Well, they're fabulous. Thank you for wearing them for me. It was really hot this morning, so I just went with linen. But maybe we'll have to have some theme days now. We'll think of something.
We might. Yeah. And the clothes story I was thinking about, just in talking about this, is I have fun going into a store like Marshall's or whatever, and I love to go to the clearance rack because I figure there's things there that nobody wants. That's why they're there, and they're also $5, $10. Yeah. So years ago, I was coaching basketball at Bedford High School. And I wanted to, as the coach for a game, I would dress up a little bit. And I had these pants that were embroidered. They had this funky design on them. So I wore those to the first game. And one of the players said, "Coach, I like your pants." And I was like, cool, great, And my children, and my adult children, they call them my fancy pants collection. So the player said, "I like your pants, coach." And I said, great. And then I noticed, the next game, I decided, I'm just wear some of my fancy pants collection, $5, $10 crazy pants. And a couple more of the girls said, "Coach, I really like your pants."
You're starting a trend.
So then I had to keep going to like Marshall's before a game and be like,
You take
what's
the
in the
children with
clearance
you. Field trip to
section?
Marshall's,
I gotta
clear
get fancy
track.
pants.
Yeah.
Then towards the end of the season, one of the parents came up to me after a game, and I had noticed. I mean, we're doing great in the season, like we were winning. I mean, the team so spirited, it was awesome, and parents are showing up, the crowd's picking up, which sadly doesn't typically happen for girls sports. So the crowd's picking up, and at the end of one game, a father came over and he introduced himself, and he's like, "Oh, I'm blah blah blah," and I'm like, "Great," and I was like, "Great season. I'm ready to talk about basketball," and he says, "I just have to tell you, we love to come to the games to see what you're wearing." I was like, "Oh,
That's fantastic. I love
and
it.
it just was this funny
perfect.
thing where exactly.
Well,
I
will
dressed
say,
for the girls.
In
I
my
dressed
defense,
for the girls,
well,
but I dressed
I
for
might
you.
be dressed boring, but you inspired me. So I don't have like a lot of theme clothes, but I have a lot of like jewelry that I kind of like talismans, like so.
I saw how that
Okay,
matched.
I put my pyramid on, right, to me, because that's like alien
Yes.
kind of symbol thing, and and then I'm the geeky math gal, so I have my pyramid, I have my grounding stone, so representing, so anyway,
You do, right,
I do sort
dressing.
of talismans, so I do kind of jewelry, but maybe I'll have to buy some spiritually themed clothing. I think we're on to something. This is a business. We have spiritually themed clothing. All right. Ship it. It's ours. So, okay. What are we going to talk about today?
Well, that makes me think about what clothes and body image and what are we doing here on the planet?
Yeah. I'm sure nobody has trouble with body image, right?
Or clothing images or like that whole concept. So I think me getting up this morning, I didn't think too much about like how I would look. I thought more about one, what would be fun for Nancy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And two, I also, because I have a German short-haired pointer mix dog who has white and black hair. So no matter what I'm wearing, it will show. So that was my other thought. It's like, oh, am I covered in little white pointy dog hairs on this
You
black
have rolls
thing?
of tape all around the house. I used to have a white beagle, and we had rolls of tape in every room.
Yeah, because that hair doesn't come out.
Yeah.
So those are my two thoughts coming here. And then I realized on the way over, with clients, with friends, I mean, I know people that it's so hard for them to get dressed in the morning. They're just really concerned about how it looks on them, how it fits, what will people think. There's a lot of intense, what would you call, self-regulation, almost self-suppression.
Yeah, that's true. And
because-
it's so inauthentic. It's dressed from within as opposed to what you're feeling and then letting it radiate out and expressing it in your clothes.
And the other thing is to be ready for people's judgment.
Right. So I did live in that world. So I worked in pharmatech for a while and very conservative group. So yes, every time I selected an outfit, is this going to be appropriate for the meeting? Am I in the dress code zone? So when I got out, man, I lived in sweats. So when I retired, it was me and my sweats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is a lot about dressing for success. I think there's something to be said for that. And the question is, whose success? What is the success?
Yeah.
And how do you present? Again, the stress that people go under, I really feel for that. I personally, because of the way my brain is wired and who I am, I typically never cared. I did have an interesting shift when I was a freshman in high school. So I'd gone to a Catholic school, wore a uniform every day.
I
Which
did
was
that
easy,
too.
Easy and great.
Easy to get dressed with that.
And I
Yeah.
put shorts under my skirt because I wanted to run around and jump
Tomboy.
off things. Yeah, right.
Tomboy.
I had to jump off things and run around. So other than that, I was really actually totally fine with it because it was easy. And then I went to a public high school, and I really loved the clothes I was wearing. I didn't know how to pick clothes. I mean, I picked clothes that I thought looked good, and I didn't read fashion magazines. My sister was into fashion. I was not. But I chose things that I thought looked colorful, fun, and a couple of months in, one of the girls I'd become friends with, because I didn't really know about anybody at the school. It was a pretty new start to me. I appreciated that she said this. She was very, very kind. And she said, I like your clothes. I like the way you dress. She said, it just seems that it's more grown up. You dress more like an older person would dress. And I thought, that's interesting. And then I started to look around at other people, because before then I didn't even notice. And I was like, oh, what are the earthlings wearing? Like, what is the plan? Yeah. And then I was like, oh, people are wearing these things these are chinos, these are docksiders, these are button down, like those. In my school. Yeah. These are, popped colored Izods. I was like, oh, is that the uniform? Is that like what we do?
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like I was suppressing myself as much as I was like, oh, oops, right. Oh, this is the century I'm in, or whatever.
Yeah, no, I suppressed. Even when, so it was dressing professional in the shop for Pharmatech, but then when I became a mother and moved to the suburbs, right? So I was always fit, and so I wore fitted clothes. We looked sleek and professional, and I used to own the fitness studio, but then we moved from Cambridge to Bedford, and I'm like, I'm in the suburbs. Maybe I should buy a pair of clogs, which I did. I should.
Which you did.
Which I did, because normally my again, heels, standard issue.
Yeah.
So I totally went with a boxy shirts, baggy pants, and clogs, because I was a mother now in suburbia.
Yes.
And it didn't make me feel good or confident. Not that I want to show myself up, but I just felt dumpy, because I was, I thought I was dressing like a frumpy, because I thought I had to do that. And then I went shopping one Mother's Day, and I'm in the Gap, and this darling boy is like, sweetie, don't move. Like, I was trying on mom jeans. I'm trying on mom jeans.
Yeah.
And the boy goes, sweetie, don't move. And he comes back with low-hanging, fitted, flared, tight shirt. And I'm like, oh, I can't wear that to the PTA, kind of thing. Yeah. And anyway, I brought it home. I put it on. My husband said, there she is. Yeah. There she is.
Right.
So, I'm exactly opposite you. So you inspire me to be more, what works for me is me.
Right.
And not reverse engineering it. I think they think I should do this, so I'll do that instead more. And that's become my mantra really lately on my spiritual journey for the past years. As within, so without.
Right.
As above, so below. As within, so without. And I find myself reminding myself of that several times as I move through the day.
Yeah, of course, it's all like a learning, awakening experience. When I was pregnant with my first daughter, Allie, which is why I laughed when you talked about the mom thing. It was 1984, and we hadn't moved away from 1950s pregnant lady clothes. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go to a maternity store. I bought a dress for 1950. It was this pink. It just came out like it was I'm a tent, so that no one can really tell my form, and I can wear this the entire time. And then this big white collar with a big white bow. And
please tell me you have a picture of that.
I don't. I wish I did. Part of me does so much Americana-y stuff. I think it's so cool. So this is sort of this is this amazing 1950s dress. So I bought it, and I was wearing it. And I remember just laughing, because I both loved it and it was both really weird. Yeah. And then I thought, I can't really wear this. Yeah. Because I'm trying to take myself, I'm picking myself up and moving myself to okay, Aileen, move to aisle 5, that's the motherhood aisle, and this is what you have to look like in this aisle, because now you represent that. Right. So during that process, I did laugh about it because it was just really funny. During that process, I then started to figure out what I wanted to wear. And leggings were kind of coming in, sort of, they were kind of hitting around that time, where I was like, I'm just going to wear leggings that stretch and I'll just wear a bigger top. So I created that kind of look for myself being pregnant. And I had to say to myself, to get from this like pink dress to being me and what I chose to wear that fit me as a pregnant person, I said, wait a minute, I'm not a mom. I also was like, I'm a mom, so I have to do this mom, you know, clogs and yeah, your mom. Yeah. And then I said, no, I'm Aileen, who happens to be becoming a mom and who will be a mom. I'm me, who has this thing I do. I'm not that. And that helped to change my mindset, right?
That's huge. Think, yeah, you're right. Yeah. And we take on roles and change for the role as opposed to being who we are and expressing it through that role.
Exactly.
And that's hard to do. Again, a lot of self-work, a lot of inner stuff, a lot of meditations for me. So, I wanted to share, because I've been enjoying, we like to share tools that we like that help us, and in the hope that if it's helping me, it'll help you. And I'm not getting any endorsements for this, but I have totally been enjoying my tapping application.
Oh, right, we were talking about, you wanted to talk about that.
Yes.
And this is perfect because then you can show it. Do you want to do some tap?
Oh, we can tap. Yes, absolutely. So dial back and meditation. So for me, meditation is like a workout. It needs to be done every day. It's not a one and done. So in meditation, in circumstances that I can control, that are calm and peaceful, I set myself up to experience how that feels, to be grounded and aligned and calm and peaceful, so that as I move through the day, when it is not aligned and calm and peaceful, I can call back that feeling. And it's like a muscle, and it's constantly needs to be worked. And just like you wouldn't go to the gym and work your biceps every day, you're not going to meditate the same every day. So I change up my meditation styles a lot. So sometimes I'll just listen to silence. Sometimes I'll listen to a metronome. Sometimes I will watch a candle. I mean, you're so evolved that, you know, so there are some of us who are very evolved who can just like summon it like that. And there are some of us who had to work to the point where we can get to this state. So anyway, we call that meditation. So one of the techniques is when I find I'm very busy and I can't just sit still and listen, is tapping. So it's called Emotional Freedom Technique. This particular app and this packaging of it came from, I don't recall the gentleman who developed the full-blown emotional freedom technique. My chiropractor has a very, very detailed protocol. But this sort of kind of cuts to the chase. And it's Nick Ortner and his sister Jessica. And so I have this app, and when there are days where I just feel I can't get to that quiet place, this makes me feel like I'm meditating as I move through, because I'm moving and tapping through these, I want to say portals, these points of the body that are known energy points. So the idea is, as you tap on the, and I'm doing a miserable job sort of trying to explain this, but as you tap through these energy points, you're driving home what you're speaking. And as you tap through these energy points and you're speaking and you let things flow out of your mouth, you would be amazed at what's coming basically out of your subconscious that you never even, I didn't even know that bothered me, that back then this happened. So lately I've been doing the app, which has these daily challenges. You know, tap for 8 days if you are enough. And lately I'm tapping on gratitude.
Nice.
So yeah, really enjoying that tool to supplement my existing meditation repertoire.
That's great.
Do you want to tap? Do you want to tap, or do you want to talk more about, shall we tap, or do you want to talk more about?
We can do whatever, what do you think?
What do you think? I'll do a real quick.
Yeah, show a tapping.
Just the concept of it.
Yeah.
So
I think that'd be great.
You start by tapping the side of your hand. My chiropractor does it like this, but you would start by stating the issue, and you say it 3 times. And again, we're tapping where these meridians are. So, you know, even though I sometimes have hang-ups on the clothing that I wear, I accept how I feel, and I'm okay.
Perfect.
Even though I tend to dress the way I think people want me to dress, I realize that's where I am at the moment, and I accept and love myself. Even though I have this issue where I feel I need to look a certain way to please people, I accept how I feel, and I'm open to changing that somehow. And then you start to tap through the points, and you just spew. I mean, it can be vile, it can just be, so we
get it all out.
I do a round or two, or however long it takes to flush. So you would, insert your words here.
Yep.
It's so stressful. I always am looking in the mirror. I'm wondering if I look good. I'm wondering if I look appropriate. I have to dress the way people feel. I don't want to stand out. Okay, so boom, right? That one jumped out for me. Where did that come from, right? So you just don't know.
Yeah.
Then you just keep spewing. It's so hard to always worry about how you look. It drives me nuts that I have to keep looking in the mirror to make sure everything looks the way it's supposed to look. It's so stressful, and I wish, and I'm ready for a change. And maybe I don't need to care what other people think. Maybe I can just be comfortable in comfortable clothes. Maybe I can be happy with me. Maybe I can be happy with the way I look. And you just continue to tap through the points. So the points are eyebrows, side of the eye, under the eye, above the lip, below the lip, collarbone, under the arm, and top of the head. And you just keep tapping until you feel like you don't want to anymore. So I find that a useful meditation technique when I just can't use my typical techniques. Now, you do not meditate, or do you've evolved from meditation to practicing presence and being in the now throughout the day.
Right. Yes, to live a meditative life was sort of the setup in my mind.
Yeah, and that
the
intention. Eckhart even says, meditation is great, but what's more powerful is living in the now, in presence.
In the meditative, yeah.
In that,
and
to
to be sort of fair for the truth of everyone's different. Everyone came with different things to figure out and to do. Even as a child, I just loved every moment, and that's like meditation. I'm very
present,
observant of nature. I'm very observant of. I enjoy watching people to learn about them. I was in an airport once waiting for my daughter's plane to take off, and as I sat there, I looked over and I saw a young man come and set up his shoe shine business.
Oh.
And I thought, I don't know anything about this. I've been in airports, I've never really paid attention, and I was so beautifully, intensely learning about him. I watched him set it up, and I was in awe, and it's like, oh, how did he get here? Like, what was his life like? And does he like doing this? And I watched a customer come, and to me, that's a meditation. My questions are gentle. They're not like I have to know.
Yeah.
It's like a gentle
General
flow.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's like, wow, in a pleasing way. I ask questions that feel pleasing to me. Like, oh, and I don't have to have the answers.
Yes.
It's more like this curiosity.
That's beautiful.
And we talk even, Einstein mentioned things about, and you see it, in different spiritual texts and quotes or whatever, that really having this curiosity, and we talk about like a child's view, like I still have that.
That's beautiful. And there's a lot of things going on there. One is by being the observer, you're out of the ego.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
So you're present.
Right.
And then by directing your attention benevolently to another soul, you're serving him because you're feeding him your compassion. Compassion is aligned love. Mm-hmm. You're feeding him your compassion, so you are of service. Which then elevates you to even another notch. So, wow, that's beautiful. General questions while you observe another human being. I love that. Okay, adding it to the list. I got to finish my gratitude tapping challenge, and then I'm gonna I'm going to just ask some gentle,
Too
general
good.
questions as I move through the day when I observe people.
I get excited. I'm like,
That's
wow,
lovely.
isn't that interesting? Wow,
That's lovely.
how did that happen? Wow.
Absolutely
How does he
lovely.
pick the shoe polish out? You know, like, did his grandfather do that? You know, it's just this kind of thing. I just can go. I can go and go and go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, that's a beautiful technique. I love it. Okay, so today we've shared two more tools as we talk about our toolbox. So how would you like to close?
Well, I think you did great, and I think that we had fun.
We had fun.
So that, and
this
new.
being our first time on video.
We're learning cameras and light.
Yeah, it's a work in progress.
And
It's a work in
chairs
progress.
and
and heels and fun shoes. So it's a work in progress.
And that's part of the being present. That's the part of, you know, it's not just being curious about other people. It's also about being curious and loving ourselves, looking to ourselves to say, like, wow, isn't that cool about you, Aileen? Isn't that cool about you, Nancy? Isn't that fun, Aileen, that you bought these and you want to wear these for Nancy because you love her? And then you get to wear your shiny shoes that match. And, you know, just a reminder to be intentional about the control we have over our brain. Matter follows energy. I love how you talked about when I was looking at the person setting up their shoe shining business and the part about, like, I'm asking, he didn't even know I was looking through this glass, so he doesn't even know, but yet in my endearment to him by being curious, I'm sending all that energy.
Right? I mean, that's the laws of the universe. That's the physics of it. Wherever you direct your attention, I mean, that's a quantum element of it. Wherever you direct your attention, that now takes on more life.
Right.
So how beautiful that you gave that shoe shine boy more of your energy.
And so I think if we do it not only for others, sometimes it's easier to start doing it for others than for ourselves.
True.
Do it for others, it becomes what we do, and then, whoo, next thing you know, we flip it for ourselves. And then it's through tapping, it's through kind of all of the things we're talking about that
Conscious observation through the day. Perfect.
we come to the point of peace within ourselves.
Love it. All right. And as always, more to be revealed.
Thank you for joining us on Expansive Minds podcast, Gateway to Freedom. Until next time, more to be revealed.